welcome to another round of the greatest priest podcast with a parishioner of St. Francis in all of Payne County. I'm getting very specific right now. I'm Father Kerry. I'm here with the temporary sidekick,
Clay Furleigh.
Oh, hey, Clay. Hey. I didn't know if you... I pointed at you and you're looking down.
I was not looking at you. Yeah.
It's Father Lawrence Nwachukwu is next on the docket, who's the pastor to be at St. Francis Xavier.
It's exciting.
Do you remember him when he was a priest here?
Yes, I do. I was I believe I was a junior in college when he spent his year at St. John, and he was awesome. I think all the college students loved him.
Oh, wait, okay, just memory lane. What? People use the word awesome a lot.
Fair enough. Mean? I guess what was awesome about Father Lawrence?
I made during the season of Easter and since then I was like, people, you can't use the words awesome because
good.
But people were at the scene of the resurrection and they're like, and the angels would say, "Are you surprised? Like, are you shocked by this?" And so I was like, okay, we need to get rid of the word awesome out of our vocabulary. Anyway, go ahead.
I would say JB and I used to talk about. JB was my buddy in college. Same year as me. He's still a missionary at Georgia Southern University. But we likened him to like spiritual Yoda. It's like,
really?
Yoda, like Star Wars. He was just so wise, so calm. He was also like a very good like counterbalance to you.
Oh.
I mean, not that you're not wise, but,
you were like a dumb Jedi. Well, you know what? When he was
very Anakin-esque. No, I'm just kidding. But
when he was here, he was ordained a priest. Let's see. He's now 25 years. So that was 6 years ago. So he was ordained roughly 19 years a priest. And I had been ordained a priest 7.
So he has a decade on you. Almost.
Yeah, he had been the vice rector of the largest seminary in all of Nigeria, which is a full-time. It's like being a CEO of a small college. And I had been fill in the blank.
So becoming your associate was a little weird for him.
Yeah, he was like, what? Makes no sense. But different understandings of campus ministry. The chaplaincies in Nigeria, people come to the chaplaincy. They don't go out on the campuses of the colleges because they don't have big colleges like this.
Yeah.
And so it was just him learning campus ministry. And I mean, he was the pastor of 4, still is as this recording is going, 4 parishes in the diocese. Yeah. And there's no other priest that has 4 parishes. Anyway, tell me, okay, so before you insulted me, you were saying something really great about him.
I meant, the counter was a more personality. Is like you very energetic, high highs. He was just all not like solemn, but always happy and calm all the time and
stable.
And like what was great about both of you, having both of you were very much, in our lives, I would say. I'm willing to walk with the college students and be there. I remember him coming to these Saturday guy brunches that we would have, and you would just hear like confessions, just like while we pray a rosary, and you just hear confessions for like an hour, 2 hours.
Really?
Just like Saturday mornings.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And so it was awesome.
Is that over that dumpy White House y'all lived in?
Yes, the Dunk on Duncan Street. Nickname, the Dump.
Oh my gosh. There's things that I've learned about what happened in that house because it was like 5 guys living in the same house and the unspeakable things that will not.
There's only 3 of us, on the lease.
just College guy hilarity.
Yeah.
I would walk over there. I'd go through the door, and it would just go quiet real fast. Like, it's like Dad came home or something. Oh my gosh! Anyway, Father Lawrence Nwachukwu, we're looking forward to him being here and coming to Stillwater and being the pastor of St. Francis and moving into our rectory. And
yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back, Voodoo. Okay, so. We've been, Father O'Brien has been baseballing it for all y'all who are out there like, what's Father O'Brien doing? Well, he's been going to baseball games in Houston. There was a minor league team. He went to the St. Mary's at College Station the other day, and he's like, this place is giant.
Yeah, there's a lot of people down there.
Yeah. He went and watched the Sugarland Space Cowboys versus the Round Rock Express the other day.
Yeah. Minor league's the best at the names.
What is that? The Isotopes?
Yeah, you got the Isotopes, and you got
the Pawtucket Patriots.
You got the Chihuahuas in California. It's just, they're so good.
Creative.
I wish professional sports teams would, a major league sports team, I should say, be more creative like that. Be more local. Like most of the best sports team names are like local ones.
What about
the Blackhawks?
Well, let me get that one. The Timberwolves. Why don't you change it to like the Tree Huggers
from Minnesota?
The Minnesota
Timberwolves. Yeah. I mean, I think there are wolves in Minnesota, but
there are.
But
how about the Tree Huggers? Sounds a little. It's a little catchier.
Maybe Portland should be that.
The Portland Trailblazers.
So Portland Tree Huggers. I think if the city voted, I think they would change it to that.
The Portland Homeless.
I'm sure they're.
They do have a homeless population.
Yeah.
Oh, the dream of the '90s is alive in Portland. The Portland Portlandias.
That'd be great.
It was a great TV show about a dozen years ago. Okay, we're gonna dive in. You and I,
we've wasted too much time.
Yeah. No, people love the chatting and the dialogue, and they're listening out there as they're driving, and they know that there's only 29 and a half minutes, and so we've wasted 7 of them. So they're like, "Wow, this is great. I'm looking forward to more." The funny thing is. Every 2 weeks, I have a screen because we have 17 weddings this year. I changed my phone screen lock to a picture of another couple who's getting married, and then when I realized I unlocked my phone around people who were standing there, they're like, "Why do you have a picture of that couple on your phone?" I was like, then I have to explain. I was like, "Make sure you pray for them."
Because I pray for them.
Yeah. So there's 17 couples getting married. Okay, so we were going to do stuff, and it was and we decided on this. It was actually your decision.
It was. Well, it was my idea.
Your idea. Go ahead. And what's the idea?
Well, my idea was that it feels like, as a lay person who's traveled a lot and seen a lot of different masses in a lot of different places.
Name a country you've lived in.
I've lived in 3 different countries in my life. So I lived in the United States.
Whoa.
Yeah. Shocker. And Spain.
Okay.
And South Korea. Similar to yourself.
Yeah.
South Korea. But and so I've seen masses, look different.
That's right.
And I've lived in, like a bunch of other states too.
Yeah, California to DC and Edmond.
Virginia, the Georgia, the North Carolina. Yeah.
And we have here, most people are not aware, we have about 36 dioceses represented.
At St. John's.
Yeah, if you sit down at a table of 4 people, you have 4 different dioceses.
Yeah.
So everybody brings their own sort of customs and courtesies. And I think one of the cool things about the United States is we have when I lived in Albany, we had an Italian and a French Catholic church across the street from each other. Different customs. And then they started using the same language. My dad grew up in a Russian, Polish, Ukrainian neighborhood. Everybody, they had these different customs and say it's like Indian priests. Some of the Indian priests who come here to the United States don't know the blessing of the throats.
Oh, just no clue. Never heard of it.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So we started talking about this, and then you went what direction?
So I wanted to walk with you, with someone who's been liturgically trained as a priest, ordained priest, and follow generally the order of the Mass, and I can ask you clarifying questions about things that I've seen done, and you can give me a general answer of, generally following the line of, is this obligated to do? Is this not obligated but recommended, or just allowed? Is it permissible but not recommended, or just not permitted?
I've already forgotten. What about Chacos at liturgy? Are you going to start with that?
Obligated, allowed, permissible but not recommended, or not permissible.
Okay.
Just generally speaking.
Start with some easy ones for me, because
okay. We'll start with getting ready for Mass.
Oh, okay, got it. Chacos, yes, permissible.
Permissible.
I just wanted to cover that because I didn't want. I saw those judgy eyeballs when I put my foot up on the coffee table.
Not me. See, I'm the guy asking the questions, so I don't have judgment here. I'm just looking for clarification.
No, what did you say during the break? You're like, No, I don't judge. I just observe and come to conclusions.
That's your catchphrase.
Anyway,
okay. Imagine I'm getting ready for Mass, and it's hot outside, especially at St. Francis in the 8:30 Mass. The sun's beating down on you.
Oh, dude, it hit me in the eyes the other day. I couldn't barely even see.
It's so hot. One time, Kayla almost passed out.
I can't wait to.
But stained glass.
Stained glass.
It's a dream.
It's a dream come true.
But so let's say I don't want to wear a nice, suit coat. I want to wear a tank top instead.
Does the tank top have a picture of Jesus on it?
Yeah, slam dunking a basketball.
What if it had him as serving a volleyball and it says, "The Son of Man has come to serve, not be served"? Or he's like,
genius.
He's blocking the devil.
That's pretty great.
Okay, so stuff like that. Okay, well, I think in general, tank tops out.
Okay.
Now I know that I've experienced moments when people are coming back from the lake and they're like, well, at least I'm making it to Mass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If you know you're going to Mass, don't show up in a tank top and board shorts. I get it that you're sunburned. I can see it through your shirt and on your face. But if we're really like stepping into heaven,
mm-hmm.
and heaven is coming down to us, and we're being lifted up to heaven, heaven and earth is full of God's glory, then if you know you're traveling, then bring some nice clothes, like khakis, and this part of the state of Oklahoma, dudes show up in their nice jeans.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Like, dude shows up, or woman shows up, and they've just like their cattle fence just opened.
Yeah.
Or, as I heard one time, a coyote got into our hen house right before Mass, and they had to came to church in rubber boots.
There you go.
And so there's extenuating circumstances, but just because you just don't want to
wear a college shirt.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, I am such a martyr.
Yeah. One time you gave me crap in college.
Did I?
Because I wore a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt to Mass. And you're like, you came to Mass in that? I didn't really think about it, but fair enough.
Yeah. A kid came up one time after Mass and was like, Father, I saw you give me a strange look at this shirt, and it was a penguin with a joint hanging out of its mouth.
It's like, yeah.
And I was like, bro, please, come on. Don't wear that to church ever again.
Just don't wear it. How about that?
Just don't wear it.
What about wearing something like a hat in the Mass? People are attached to their hats. Some guys are hat guys.
Yeah. Okay, so there's this trend. Let's go this direction. There's this trend of young girls wearing veils, and I think there's a couple. It's permissible. Now, the hat in the English world, if you've ever seen English women, they wear a hat. Mm-hmm. That was an extension of the veil to cover their heads at Mass, and it's not really a custom in the United States for men to wear hats. What I do notice is that indoors, when men, especially people who have cowboy hats or baseball caps in this part, part of the state, people are coming in is they take their hats off.
Yeah.
Like we've had weddings where I had to put out a table because guys were like, "Oh, Father, where do I put my hat?" Okay, so I know if ag kids are coming to a wedding, I have to have a table out where they're going to put all their cowboy hats.
There you go.
Or all their ball caps when they come in.
I've seen them outside in Northex.
Yeah, so there is that, or they put them in their seat next to them. For men, not doesn't seem to be permissible. Women, on the other hand, because of like veils. Now, I like if your veil is turning into something that is so ostentatious that everybody is staring at it, you may want to go simple, like the same color as your hair, or a dark color of blue.
Not bejeweled.
They're starting to get outrageous. I may have to have a talk in general with people. Maybe I'm doing that right now.
Maybe this is it.
The long ones that are like 4 feet long. Okay, save that for your wedding day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think like hats amongst women, there is a cultural for that. I don't think it exists in the United States. It exists in England.
Mm-hmm.
It has not made its way across the pond.
You're right. So with men, just a no-go.
No-go.
No hats and masks. With women, permissible. Veils, not obligated, but allowed.
Not obligated, allowed.
Don't get extra with it.
Don't get extra with it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Okay, there's one part of Mass that I think there's just a lot of confusion about, like entering before Masses, and it's the fast before Mass.
Fast.
Right. And so how long, point blank, should I fast before Mass?
Okay. So if you're coming to Mass on a Sunday, you should 1 hour before you receive Holy Communion. That means at the Easter Vigil, you can have a snack at like the second or third reading. Okay, just like if you get hungry in the Easter Vigil, you're like, well,
I'm sure a lot of people will be reassured by that.
Yeah. You just like break out a Klondike bar, just like step out and be like, where'd you go? You missed the third reading. Like, I was having a Klondike bar.
I was passing out.
So. I was passing out. I needed sugar. I'd been fasting all Lent.
Right.
So it's 1 hour before you receive Holy Communion. I would crank that back to make it, say, an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay.
Because sometimes on a Sunday, I don't regularly do this, but my 12-minute homily could turn into 20 accidentally if I go out on a train track that I don't know where it's going to, or if I decided to shorten it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 1 hour before you receive Holy Communion. Now, can you fast more than that? Yes. Yeah. I mean,
just as a personal devotion.
Exactly. And okay, what does that include? That includes like water, not for like medicine. If you're taking your medicine, that does not count as breaking the fast. Now, I will tell you, girls need to drink some water and eat something before Mass, because the people that pass out, I'm just making observations. I'm not judging. The people that are passing out at Mass are skinny white girls with blonde hair.
I mean,
all of them.
I've seen it.
There has not been a brunette. There's never been a guy. I mean, like all the people that pass out at Mass
at St. John,
in this specific place are white girls, because a doctor said, I mean, they just have low iron. And so they need to eat something. So girls, please eat something and drink something before you come to Mass.
So you can drink water before Mass. Would you recommend bringing a water bottle into Mass?
Oh, no. You can survive.
Okay.
There's water fountains in your churches. You can drink some water before you come to Mass, before you attend the Holy Liturgy.
So that in mind, so probably no coffee in Mass either.
Probably no coffee. No, okay. No, not probably. No coffee. Just check
coffee.
Check it off the list.
Yeah. What about, and I've seen this before. I don't think I've ever done it, but I've like done it before Mass, is like I've been chewing gum.
Spit it out. Yeah.
Does
If you
does
eat
that
it, you break the
contradict-
fast.
Okay. Well, I didn't swallow it.
Yeah,
But.
yeah. But you know what's funny is it's like only in Western Europe do people chew
Yeah, it's
on
weird.
things. We just
Yeah.
like chewing tobacco, chewing gum. It's an eating. It's like we have so much food that we have to think about chewing food when we're not eating.
It's like, oh, what are you eating? Oh, a little piece of rubber. Like what?
I guess I get it. If you have like nasty breath, put some gum in, but also brush your teeth.
Yeah. You're a big fan of that.
I
Pre-mass teeth
I know
brusher.
I do that priest that got me one time. He had been smoking and drinking coffee, and I had received Holy Communion later in the day, and I think he had probably had a couple smokes and a couple cups of coffee. He's like, "Body of Christ." I was like, but it hit me right in the face, and after that, I know.
Okay,
halitosis
let's move into coming into the church.
Okay.
I think there's like, I don't know. It's like you've been making fun of Catholics for never sitting in the front row.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you're like, oh look, the front two pews are wide open. Look
I
at that.
know.
People come up. Do you think there's like any like courtesy when walking into the church and deciding on choosing the seat besides like outside back corner?
Yeah. I should. There was Ellen DeGeneres who put stuff underneath people's seats, and I bet you I could get more people to sit in the front if I put stuff underneath
like
the
a
seats,
prize,
like a prize.
a little lottery prize.
Yeah, in the back, there's stripped copper wire of 120 volts, and if you reach under, you get zapped. People will want to start sitting in the front.
There you go. Condition them.
Yeah, it's like sit closer to the front because this is what happens in all I think all denominations is people show up late or they show up right on time or they're naturally inclined to sit in the back, and then you have over half the people in the back half of the church. Like we have 8 rows in the front and 11 in the back, and typically 2 of the 8 in the front are wide open.
Yeah, that's what Kayla and I try to do with Grayson is we kind of now we shoot towards the front because we know we're going to have an aisle seat towards the front. And it's because like we kind of need an aisle seat. There's spots in the middle, there's open space, but it's hard to get to. We're going to be in and out with Grayson. It was a year and a half. And so it's like, yeah, we kind of shoot towards the front and then.
And he needs room to lay down on the ground.
Of course, yes.
Because he loves
to sprawl on the cool floor.
and put his hands behind his head, like in Divine Mercy Sunday.
Yeah.
Divine Mercy Sunday, I'm giving people the sacrament of confirmation. I'm like, receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. And I look down, and his 1.5-year-old son is laying with his legs spread open on the ground with his hands behind his head. And Clay looks at me and I was like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
He's content.
Yeah.
He's content. No one can see it except us. Okay.
Also walking the church, entering the pew, people kneel towards the front of the church.
The word is genuflect, Clay.
Okay.
The word is genuflect, and we're genuflecting to Jesus in the Eucharist. We always catch people off guard on Good Friday when they walk into a church and they
just habitually
they use the genuflect, and then their left hamstrings it's like, no, bro, you ain't supposed to be doing that today, and like their hip flexor is like working against them. Yeah, so we're genuflecting. And I'm correcting this with students because when they walk up to lecture at Mass. They genuflect to the tabernacle, and it says you complete a profound bow, which is a bow at the waist, not just the head nod.
Now, is that to Jesus as well? Or
No,
is
that's to the altar.
Okay.
Because during the liturgy, the altar becomes the center of activity. Without the altar, we actually don't have the Eucharist.
So inside the liturgy, when approaching the altar, you bow to the altar.
Yeah.
Outside the liturgy, you genuflect to the tabernacle.
Bingo, dude.
Great.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Okay.
off. That's very helpful.
Today
Thank you.
old.
And is there specific knee I should genuflect with?
Oh, that good question. So do we genuflect with our right knee? I've heard over the years, and I've never really done a lot of research on this because it doesn't seem to warrant it, but people, you genuflect to religious leaders and kings with your left knee, and you save your right knee for God.
I see.
And there's always that connection with right-handed things, like the right hand of God is power and almighty.
Yeah.
We make covenants with our right hand. People join their right hand. So there is something about the right hand and the right leg that are reserved for God.
Yeah, I see that.
Thank you.
So, and then when entering the pew before Mass starts, if you get there early enough, people tend to bring the kneeler down and kneel and pray. What?
Yeah, highly recommend that.
Yes.
I think we got away from highly recommend, should not recommend, or really dumb idea.
Okay, we're talking about it.
Yeah. So back row, dumb idea. Don't sit there immediately when you come into the church.
Yeah.
Save that for some person that is can't walk very well.
Right.
Move to
Handicap.
the front. Yeah, sit in the front row. Sit in the row. You know, we have handicap spots in this church spread out all over it. Now,
okay.
Highly recommend when you walk into the church, take some quiet time.
Yeah.
I tell students, would you ever walk into your final exam from listening to really loud music and doing jumping jacks? And the answer is no.
Maybe jumping jacks, but not the loud music.
Okay. Jumping jacks to get your energy up. Pump up
Yeah.
the jam. Pump it up. Why your feet? Something like that.
It's your favorite song.
I know. 24 karat magic in the air. Yeah, okay, you're not going to listen head to toe so smooth. You're not going to go into a big test. And if you're
filling your brain with other stuff.
Yeah. So when you go into Mass and you find a spot to pray, be careful what you're doing the 20 minutes prior. Because if you're listening to music on the way, or you're listening, okay, well, take some silent time, or listen to the readings on USCCB podcast, where you can listen to the readings for daily Mass, or as you're approaching the liturgy, you're getting more and more sensitive to what you and who you are about to receive. More sensitive. Your mind is more sensitive. Your body is more sensitive. Your heart is more sensitive to the Gospels that you're hearing, the readings you're hearing, and Jesus in the Holy Eucharist, whom you're going to eat. His flesh, his blood, his body, his blood, and divinity.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I should pray before Mass.
Highly recommend it.
Highly recommend. Not mandatory. Not obligatory, but you should do it to more readily dispose yourself to the graces you'll receive at Mass.
Amen, brother.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, should we move on to the next section, or?
Oh my gosh, I don't think we can. I think we're going to have to say, because we're going to do a lot of this, and we can jump probably to the end of Mass if we, go in peace. What do you do when you go in peace? Go in peace. But I think we're going to have to you know what? When we
didn't even get the Mass yet. Mass hasn't even started.
I know, but I think these are all also very helpful. Somebody asked why is it highly recommended or not, or general, to put your fingers in the holy water font to make the sign of the cross?
Yeah. What
do you think, Clay? I'm turning it back on you now, huh? What do you got?
I would guess that it is highly recommended.
Why? Why would it be highly recommended, Clay?
Because it would seem too hard to make obligatory. It would seem really interesting that, it doesn't seem the stakes are high enough. Yeah, I would say.
Okay, so why are you putting your hands in the holy water font to start off with?
My guess is, what I've heard previously is to remind yourself of your baptism.
Aha! Wha-bang! Yeah!
I did it.
Oh, crown a jewel in his crown.
I know some things.
I know some things. You know what? I'm so honored that you would know this, that I'm going to let you name your second-born child after me.
Wow.
You're welcome.
What an honor.
I usually don't give that honor away to people too.
Really? Because it feels like I've seen you really try to pressure people.
No, if you want.
His name's going to be Carlos, right? like for me. Because Kerry translates to Carlos according to Father Kerry.
No, it's Charles
Right, of course.
And then Charles is Carlos.
I'm sure they've heard it before.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, good people of God. Well, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up today. Hey, pray for Father Lawrence Nwachukwu and remember us in your prayers here. And I forgot how to conclude this. It's been a couple of weeks.
Well, have a great day.
Peace.